Two Blue Fred here.
Hey guys. So today guys, we're going to install some controller for heated gear onto the Zephyr Blue. We're going to show you more details as we get going, but there's a main controller piece that's going to go up underneath the seat here. There's going to be some wires running up underneath the tank. There's going to be some controls we're going to mount right up here. And then we're going to have some, they're called bulkheads, tied in, probably on the other side actually, but they're going to be tied into this black piece right here, so you can plug the heated gear in right below the seat. We've already taken the seat off. It's just one screw back here in the back. If you didn't already know, you undo it, put it to the side. Now we got to take the tank off. The tank is 4 screws. There's 2 right here, right up here, and then there's 2 underneath here, 1 on each side. You have to disconnect these 2 connectors right here. It's a black and gray connector that connect underneath the seat, and you got to pull your evaporation lines up out. All right, we're getting ready to move this tank off. We'll be back with you after we get that done. One thing we neglected to mention when moving the fuel tank was you got to disconnect the fuel line from this side of the tank. It's a push-up motion, and then the black part separates and goes down if you don't know how to do that. Now that we've gotten the tank off, we're going to locate the Gerbing dual heat trawler, but these 2 wires have got to run up to the dashboard area. We're going to utilize this factory chase, this plastic part that goes up underneath the tank, and we're going to lay the wires in that chase and get them up to here. Now we've got the wires laid in, we're going to go ahead and snap everything back together. There are, if you can see under here, there are a ton of wires in this little chaseway. So, you know, there's a lot going on down here. Make sure I don't pinch anything as I go. Can't see from the video, this is a little bit more than a pain in the butt. And there we go. The factory boys had a zip tie right here. There we go. A quick chase wire right here to get these pieces up into this space, and just like that. We're removing this part, guys, because this is where we're going to put the plug-ins for the heated gear down here. Moved inside of the clubhouse for this part. The clubhouse is affectionately nicknamed Valhalla. We brought the plastic pieces and the drill inside. We're going to go ahead and do the easy ones first, simply because they give us courage. And we're going to go ahead and tape up the parts. We're just going to apply some simple painter's tape here. Stick around. Watch my scared ass drill into a $30,000 motorcycle.
Need a little courage in the bottom.
Need a little bit of devil in the fireball.
Raising hell in Chevrolet.
Raising hell in the Chevrolet. Shout out to our brother Crucifix.
Cruise.
Croosh. Hell of a nice guy. We met up with him in Atlanta before he was heading to Sturgis, and then he didn't wind up going, but still, we met up with him. Great guy, man. You guys are witnessing the OCD section of Blue. Nobody's going to know that these are off in any way, shape, or form except for me. Take the tape back off. These 2 little guys right here, Blue's showing them off to you. Looks like we're gonna have to drill one more time. This hole's just a little bit snug. Just remember, guys, you can always make it a little bigger. You can't glue it back. See, just like that. Do the other one. Now these things have a little screw on the back side that you can use to tighten them up. This Gerbing setup is really pretty nice. Truly it is. I used it on the Goldwing, and it was really good. You got a little lock washer. You've got this little cap cover to protect the plug from, you know, moisture or whatever. And then you've got this little screw that you tighten up just like that. We're gonna have to fix those a little bit, but just like that. You got one for your jacket and your gloves, you got one for your pants and your socks, and then these two connectors will plug into the part that's underneath the seat. To make it easier, I'm getting rid of the instruments. It'll make it lighter, make it a little easier to handle. You got no speedo. I got rid of both of the switch clusters.
That's what we do. This has been about a 12 beer install.
So I went and got this piece to make sure that I had enough gap. There's a little LED right there that I'm going to try to find a spot for. Once I get the knob mounted, I'll worry about how I'm going to where and how I'm going to put the LED. But the goal would be to have it, you know, underneath. I may also look at putting something right there for the LED. Once again, blue tape. I'm starting to think about drilling into a $180 part. Just dab some holes in it right there. The reason I'm doing that is so that I can ignition piece right there. So now I've kind of got my markers. Go ahead and use our Sharpie right here. This line, that line. Rid of this little piece. So now I got my lines. Problem that we have is you've got these little stems in the back which hold on your accessory switches. We're going to try to make sure that these guys get far enough back so that when they sit flush, this little green part is kind of right up next to that little pin. That's the goal. Okay? The reason for that is when you're looking at this on the bike, it's on, I forget which side it's on. I think it's on this side, but there's a little connector right here for the ignition switch. So if we get this thing too far out of orientation, the length of the board will bump up against the ignition switch and everything is not going to fit. And then we're going to have a problem because we've already drilled the holes. It'd be cool if I could get them to center up with the buttons. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, but this process that you're watching me painfully endure right now is I'm just trying to get a sense of where the hole is in association with this peg. Sometimes, guys, it's just about making your best guess. Blue and I had a couple of scary moments, but then we figured out a solve. So here's the problem that we ran into. After we drilled the hole to fit into the controller piece, when we fit everything up through the hole, you have no threads to get the nut onto it. Now, we scratched our noggin on a minute about this, and then I remembered a piece that came with the warm and safe gear that I had for my Goldwing that I didn't use, and it's this little reverse thread nut, if you will, with the little spacer. I'm sure there's a technical term for it. I'm not sure what it is. This guy right here fits onto the piece like this, and then instead of you're using this shaft, this shell, to grab hold of the threads that you didn't have enough thread to get through, and this is going to work. Now, I got these with the warm and safe heated gear. They did not come with the Gerbing gear, so you may have to check your local not Lowe's, like a local Ace. Ace is a really good place to find miscellaneous stuff like this. And you may have to find this piece. But once we got it in, and I'm trying to keep everything in the camera shot, but it's a little awkward, so let me just do this and then I'll show you guys what I'm doing. So then you tighten up the nut. So then you've tightened up the nut, and it's got a hold of the piece, and then on the back side you can see kind of where it sits. And then when we get this other piece, which is the cap for the buttons, and put it in, you're going to see that that green little part fits right behind that notch, and everything just sort of kind of fits there. And that's exactly what I was after. That's what I was going for. So I'm gonna run outside to the bike real quick and I'm gonna dry fit to make sure the PCB is not in the way anywhere. One last thing, you get the knob on here. I mean, and it still fits over that little spacer, that little nut thing. So everything is just the way it should be. Gerbing, you need to include these little spacers in your kit. It took us a long time to get the first one done. The second one went quicker. Still got to put the speedo back in, but that's pretty much your completed assembly. Work on the LEDs. Haven't quite made up a decision about how I'm going to handle those yet. We'll do some follow-up pictures or videos to that, but we're going to go put it all back on the bike. Last step on the heated gear. We got the bike back together, hooking up cable to the battery. Got a inline fuse, 15 ampere. We're gonna hook this up to the battery, plug it into the gear. We're gonna put the seat back on and we're gonna be done. Getting to the battery is a little bit of an ordeal. Got to remove silly plastic cover, disconnect a lot of things. We pulled the master 50 amp fuse out for install as well. On the gerbing, everything's pretty modular. So you've got this one power cable, you plug it in right there. I'm gonna get some electrical tape and just tape this connection together. All right, so we have it all back in. Controller is sitting right there. Got the wires tucked up. Go ahead and put the master fuse 50 ampere back in. Okay. Only thing left is to get the seat on. Guys, this is Two Blue Fred. I want to thank you for watching our video. This was the installation of the dual heated gear trawler, the Gerbing. Got our knobs installed up here. All in all, it looks really good. Satisfied, happy with the install. We're gonna play with the LEDs in the coming days and come up with a good solution for those. Thanks for joining us. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Leave a comment if you have a question about this installation. I'll be happy to answer any questions. You guys take care, and as always, freaking ride every day.